Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing another one of my What Sold videos. It'll be for last week, Monday through Thursday, which is October 23rd through the 26th. And y'all, it was not a good week. It was not a good week. Only 2 days last week did I meet like my daily financial goal, what I like to make per day. And then one day was like really, really bad. So I know eBay's been messing with stuff because I noticed today when I was listing, and sometimes I don't notice stuff all the time, but today I noticed just something had changed on the listing screen again, which it was a good thing, I thought, but it's still yet another sign that they're working on stuff. But I'm hoping they're done because my October was less than September. And it is what it is. I'm still going to keep on working. So I had sales on 3 of the platforms: Poshmark, Mercari, and eBay. Almost 100% sure I'm going to turn Etsy off at the beginning of the year. And I'm very much contemplating stop doing stuff with Mercari. I don't think I'll take it down because I do have, I want to say like 3,500 listings on there, but things are just not moving. And I've tried sitting and sending out offers, and that just really hasn't seemed to do any sales from them. So I think I'm just going to let that one go, and I'm going to focus on eBay. Of course, eBay's always first. Poshmark, and this is my next whatnot. Normally I do my whatnot shows on Saturday, but I'm going to be doing it on Sunday because this week we have Saturday night. We're going to have our reseller get together. There's just a bunch of us that get together once a month and just kind of talk eBay, talk YouTube, and just have a dinner together and do some catching up. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. If any of you guys are in the Bristol, Tennessee area, we're going to be, I think, meeting at the Mad Greek restaurant in Bristol at 6. So stop on by if you're in that area. All right, let's go ahead and get this started. 2 sales to share with you on Mercari. I sold this Fisher-Price Loving Family Dollhouse bed set. I just noticed recently when you can send out offers, it doesn't have to be whole dollars anymore. It is doing cents on there. So somehow when I sent out an offer, it went out at $6.75. This American Greetings Get Along Gang stocking from 1983 sold for $14 on Mercari. And then Poshmark. Roca Wear men's jeans sold for $15. And y'all, my best sell of that 4-day period was actually on Poshmark this week. I also sold these Top Man Skinny Flare men's jeans. These actually came back to me as a return on eBay. I relisted them on eBay and Poshmark, and then they sold now on Poshmark. They sold for $24. And this, my best sell for the week was this Chosun Heart to Heart Bear from 1986. I picked this up at that private pick estate sale. I showed up at an estate sale that was being held in a warehouse because the home was so small they couldn't do it in the home. Bought a ton of plush, started talking to the person running the sale, and she was like, would you like to go to the house? Because there was way more there. They hadn't brought everything. So we ended up, I want to say $500 and some dollars, $400 to $500 in plush I picked up. A lot of it was vintage plush with their original tags. Just, it was an amazing, amazing sale for me. All right, and then eBay. Susie Stretch Too Faced doll. This is the second one that I've sold. This one did have some issues with the elastic in the legs. I ended up taking a best offer of $27. Floxy toy. This was from that high bid estate sale I won a couple years ago. I've still not finished listing a lot of it. I'm going to get to it eventually, or I may just go ahead and take it on over to Whatnot. But this was just a little 3 3/4 inch toy. I took a best offer of $10. This was another one. It's been listed for a while, and I thought, you know, I'm going to go ahead and take, you know, most offers as long as they're reasonable on items, because I'm trying to move a whole bunch of stuff this fourth quarter. This is Salterra Highmark Christmas Appetizer Plate with a little knife from 1985, $20. Columbia Men's Long Sleeve Shirt sold for $14. Legends Men's Hooded Long Sleeve Shirt sold for $17. This is a Busilla Christmas Needlecraft Christmas Mail Bag. Sold for $20. And then, y'all, I always talk about going to yard sales and picking up homeschool curriculum. Anytime you see it, definitely check the comps, because you know, they sell very well for me. But I was doing some straightening up upstairs and trying to declutter a little bit. And we have a shelf that was just full of homeschool curriculum. We homeschooled 3 kids, and I've never really gone through it. A couple of times I've gotten the math books as we finished, but I hadn't done any of the other curriculum that, you know, it's just been sitting there. So I pulled a bunch of it and got it listed. And this is one of them. It sold very quickly for me. It's called The Mystery of History. Really good series. This was, I think I have all 4 volumes. I haven't found all of them yet. I have more stuff tucked. I used to be a teacher. I've got a lot of that still. I have piles of stuff that I just never get to, because it's nice tucked away on shelves and closets. But this sold for $18.95. Mead Nike Mini Notebook. I think I remember picking this up at a Goodwill Bins. It could have been in North Carolina. It could have been Nashville. I don't quite remember. But it was a small 7.5 inch notebook from 1996. Sold for $11. The parachute nylon type plush, y'all. This is, I don't even know if it had a brand on the tag, but it was 9 inches tall, neon orange and pink plush bear, sold for $41.81. And then a Puffalump. This is Fisher Price. It has a rattle inside of it. Sold for $45. Coffee mugs. Brings up the subject again. I've talked about it in a couple of our videos that I went ahead and I changed all of my calculated shipping to the buyer gets my my shipping discount. And I have seen a dramatic increase in sales for things like shoes, coffee mugs, puzzles, and just all in all, larger plush. I sold a doll that I shipped today that I've had listed for years, and it finally sold because I think the shipping is so much more reasonable. I've had a couple of comments in the videos where I've talked about this, asking, you know, why am I giving up that extra profit that we make from those shippings? You know, because it helps pay the cost of all of my shipping supplies. The thing is I use Priority Mail and Ground Advantage, priorities first, in all of my listings. I do Medium Mail if it's appropriate. I do UPS Ground if it's appropriate. But priority is first. And I would say in the last 2 months that I've been doing this, maybe out of 100 packages, 1 person picked Ground Advantage. Most people pick the priority shipping. They don't downgrade it to save, you know, a few pennies. A lot of times, if it's local to me in this region, you know, it's $7.20 to ship a 2-pound package. And I even think a 3-pound package. And Ground Advantage was going to be like $7.15. So it's not really costing me a whole lot as far as my shipping supplies. And then everything else that is flat rate, which is all of my clothes and anything under a pound, I do charge enough that, you know, there is a small amount of profit in each of the shipping, which is covering the boxes that I use to ship those items through Ground Advantage. So I know I've had a couple of people tell me that they have converted over to this shipping strategy, even if you just do it for fourth quarter to see how it does for you, and then switch it back, you know, next year if you want to go ahead and just bump your price up. But let me know if you've done it and if you're seeing an increase in your sales of items that were calculated shipping. Well, I didn't even talk about this yet. This is a Yukon Husky coffee cup sold for $12.30. The Wiggles Big Red Car. I think I picked this up at a yard sale this summer at some point. I tend to pick up most things, the Wiggles. They do really well for me, but of course, always check comps before you pick up stuff. This sold for $24.95. This is a brown rabbit plush with a little embroidered type carrots on its feet. The manufacturer was GAC. I can't remember what that is. From 2001, sold for $8.02. This is an Aurora Beagle Dog Plush 8-inch, sold for $14.20. And then Fisher-Price Imaginext. This is a dinosaur. I want to say I picked this up at a Ben's in South Carolina, maybe. Sold for $10. But it's just a reminder too. I still have my children's Imaginext dinosaurs. They're like 22 and 23 now, and I still have them. I need to, again, go get those totes out of storage next door and get them listed also. Applause Curly Lops Rabbit Plush sold for $15. Fisher-Price Little People Disney, Frozen, Anna and Elsa. These two figures sold for $8.06. Bread and butter, y'all. Bread and butter. Now this, I talk about, we like to pick up vintage, small appliances. This is from an Oster Regency Kitchen Center. It's one of those vintage things that you could attach a blender, a meat grinder, just different types of things onto it, like a food processor type stuff. And this is, I've sold this a couple of times. It's just the little wrench. I want to say it was for maybe the meat grinder part. I'm not quite sure I remember correctly. But just this little aluminum looking wrench thing sold for $7. Hasbro Pokemon Psyduck from Game Freak. This is 1998, sold for $8.96. I'm pretty sure this is from the yard sale I went to where I picked up my little snuzzles up there and then decided I wanted to buy all of the plush there because most of it was vintage. So I just had them counted all and I bought every single plush they had that day. I think I spent like $165. And I'm pretty sure there were several of these older Pokemon plush in it. Lisa Frank. This is the Hunter Leopard plush. This is the small beans from 1998. It sold for $21.80. But every time I look at this, I think of the turkey video. If you're new to my channel, go look up the turkey video because once you've learned what Lisa Frank plush look like, you can spot it from a very far distance. We had pulled up to this yard sale. I was still in like the driveway walking and I saw two Lisa Frank plush, but in between me and those plush was a turkey, a pet turkey. And it's probably one of the funniest videos we've made. At the time, it was a little disconcerting, but I'll have Robert put in the comments because y'all, that was such a fun day. But I got two big Lisa Frank plush that day that I've already sold. House of Lloyd, which is Christmas Around the World. This was a Santa Claus like shelf sitter. Usually what that means is their bottoms are like weighted and they'll sit like on a mantle or somewhere, but they'll sit up. This was 22 inches. It sold for $20. Aurora Dingo Wild Dog Plush. I kind of just made it, I think it's a dingo. I think it was. Anyway, that's what I used, and it sold very quickly for a best offer of $20. All right, this is some more of our homeschool curriculum that I just listed recently. This is Matthew C, Algebra 1. We had the teacher book and some tests and the DVD. It sold almost immediately after listing for $32.95. And this is one of those items that I'll add media mail, and I do make the media mail the top because there's a big difference when you're selling books between the price of priority and media mail. All right, this was just a small bag of silverware that I picked up. They were hammered, stainless, an incomplete set, but they were heavy and they had this like hammered barrel on the bottom of the silverware. I want to say we paid a couple of bucks for it at an estate sale, and these sold for $37.95. I was cleaning off my shelves this week. I have been finding so much stuff down here that I think as we were unloading stuff and we just started setting it on shelves, which was the intention, but then I never get back to the shelves because so much more gets brought in and set down in like over this area. But I found a huge tote of silverware that I guess I've been accumulating. So now I'm going to have to go get working on those. I like to list silverware when I have sets, like 4 forks, 4 spoons, 4 knives, and then just sell them that way. Makes it a whole lot easier to ship also, and they're not as heavy. All right, Kohl's Cares. This is Alex from Madagascar. Another bread and butter sale, sold for $8.02. This is another one of the sales that I've started really doing well with is puzzles. These I picked up a bunch of puzzles when 2 years ago, right after we started the channel, at a Finders Keepers, which in our area is like one of those pallet places where one day it's $7, the next day everything left is $6, $5. We went on the dollar day and bought tons and tons of puzzles and backpacks and notebooks and just all kinds of stuff that day. Sold for $15. Hopefully now the rest of these puzzles will start selling also. Disney Monsters, Inc. Sully sold for $11.08. Webkins. I had a bunch of Webkins. I think a bunch of them were from the bulk lot of like 1,200 plush that I picked up from Kim. I decided to put these in lots because a lot of times the Webkins are like $5 to $10, especially if you don't have the code attached. So I decided just to put the lots, together, and I had like forest animals and farm animals and dogs and cats and stuff like that. And I've done really well with them, but make sure, especially if you are looking for Webkins or you find some at, the bins or whatever, if they've got the gold logo on them somewhere, those are called the Signature Series, and some of them do very, very well. So definitely check the comps. Picked these up at a church yard sale. They were in a box. There were 8 of them originally. These are Corel Crazy Daisy Spring Blossom plates. One of them was chipped, so I just went ahead and discarded it. So this was a lot of 7, and they sold for $19. Some more of the homeschool curriculum. The homeschool curriculum that Robert picked up, we paid $45 for a tote. Most of it, I think, was Abeka. And these 2 books sold for $15. Coffee mugs. That's another thing that's been selling really well now that the price has been reduced. This is a Gotta Get a Gun coffee mug, sold for $9. All right, this. I don't know where the original picture is. This is like one of the corner pictures. I'm not sure if it was me, but somebody made a comment in one of my videos that all of a sudden they're losing pictures in some of their listings, or there are stock photos, which she said she didn't put stock photos in. That one's really confusing to me. But there was a time many years ago that something happened and eBay lost our photos. I had probably 300 to 400 listings that no longer had photos. And so it happens. That was a disaster. I had to pull all of these items just to take the pictures again. I was compensated by eBay for the mistake, but y'all don't think it's not happening. I've been having issues where they've changed my price from the moment I put in the price, scroll down, hit the button. It's a different price when it gets to the next screen. I sent a message to eBay for Business about it. They were like, can you try to catch it through screen recording so that we can send it up to IT to see if they can replicate it? Y'all, I have tried 3 times to record while I'm listing. It stopped. It hasn't happened. I'm still being very tentative. Every time I list something, I go to my active listing to see that it's the correct price. And so far it has been. So I'm hoping they've dealt with that issue. But yeah, I don't understand where my original picture went in this one. But these are Lego Duplo building blocks, and this large lot sold for $30. And this plastic nativity animal set. I want to say I picked these up at a yard sale or an estate sale for just a couple of dollars. They did have made in Italy on the bottom, but I'm not confident enough with what is Fontanini, which is a big nativity manufacturer that's vintage, to put that on my listings unless it says Fontanini, or I get it in the box and the box says Fontanini. But I still got $30 for these 5 animals, so I was very happy. Converse All-Star pink sneakers. They did have like some spots on the side of them, which I did take pictures of. But y'all, these sold probably within 2 or 3 days of listing them. We probably paid $1 or $2 at yard sale, but they sold for $18.95. And last but not least, this is a Russ Rover Tan Dog Plush, sold for $19.95, which is my full price, which means I had ended this listing and did sell similar, and it sold before my sale started. I am still a big supporter of doing end and sell similar. I have been doing it for a long time now. And the thing to remember, though, is only in the things that you are about to roll over. Don't go in there and do your whole store a couple of times a month, because you're going to run out of your free listings and all of a sudden you're going to be paying. Every day I go in and I have a video out on how I do end and sell similar. So if you haven't done it, or it's something that you're scared to try, I do have a video for that. But every day I go in and I end 300 to 400 listings. It takes me maybe 10 or 15 minutes at the max. And I have fresh new listings every single day. So I still encourage everybody to do it. All right, this is actually round 2 of this video. Something happened with the mic and I'm doing it again. It's so annoying, but it happens, and I'm done for the day. It's the end of the day for me, so I'm going to be calling it quits. But if you're still watching this tomorrow and you still need to get that motivation going, get to work. Get to work. I'll be back at it tomorrow morning. All right. Bye.